mean, quite bluntly, the evidence is there, and the evidence is overwhelmingly in favor of religion preventing war. For the most part, religion actually inhibits man's worst desires, with the exception of Islam. I must say that. With the exception, now notice Nazism, Marxism, fascism are all secular ideologies, and all are versions of socialism. I know they're going to try and tell you fascism is on the right, Nazism, crap. Okay, nonsense. Okay, these are all variations of socialism. The name is National Socialism. Now remember, people use Marxism, communism, socialism interchangeably. In fact, they use socialism and communism interchangeably. Communism is the end state of socialism. Socialism is the method to get to the Garden of Eden of communism. Right? National Socialism is simply a variation of socialism. Right? Fascism is another variation of socialism. Why don't we just instead of calling it National Socialism, let's just call it National Communism? Because people use the word communism for socialism all the time. Hitler was a national communist. Problem solved. Any comment, Thaddeus? You would have a big smile on your face?
No, I just you're a national communist. And I mean, of course people say that because the Nazis were the arch enemies of the communists.
There were two socialist there were two socialist countries fighting each other, two socialist governments vying for power.
Right. Well, I was just going to say that, but oftentimes people who are the most bitter enemies are on the same basic side, and they're competing for the same resources, and that's why they're bitter enemies. So just because they're enemies of each other doesn't mean they're opposite.
Yeah. Now, do understand, and there's a comment here, but atheists are communism's useful idiots. Whether or not you're a communist, you are still furthering and abetting the aims of communism. You're going to find that your aims as a socialist, your aims as an atheist, aid and abet what the socialists are attempting to do anyway. And also, atheism is incoherent, Gnostic, cultism, it's babble. Okay. Now, science and claims to reason do not automatically result in an atheist utopia free of violence and bigotry, or lead man to reason. If you look at our good old socialist Voltaire, he didn't like many Jews, I can tell you that. Okay. And we can go through a whole bunch of them. Okay. Hitler, yeah, well, okay, he wasn't an atheist, so that's fine. Now, let's have a look at this quote here. Religion. The Latin meaning of religare, which is the root word of religion, means to bind, to hold back by tying, to thwart from forward progress, to sabotage, in other words. This definition is, let's just say it's a little inaccurate. Okay, let's just say it's slightly different from what you'll find if you go and it's edited. Let's put it that way. Religion is the main reason for all of the harm and negativity in the world. Oh my golly. I'm talking about the top religions in the world, Judeo-Christian and even Islamic religions, government, the monetary system, science, and even the New Age religion. They are all meant to manipulate and control people and society. So, progress. Okay, so now we know progress. Their version of progress, right? Christianity is responsible for the scientific revolution. You need to understand that the scientific revolution is built on Christian beliefs, built on Christians, right? Reason is owned by Christianity because God is the Logos. Jesus is the Logos. Yes, it means the word, to say the word. However, it also is the principle of reason. The Logos is the principle of reason. We moved away from paganism. As we've seen briefly, this whole idea of socialism and atheism is taking us back to paganism, back to myth. Because when you remove the Logos, you don't get reason, you get myth-making. So control people, control society. We're going to be finding out that the socialists, as you know, had highly controlled societies. And so we're going to have a look into that insane atheist socialist social control for you as we go. Thaddeus, your turn.
Yeah, well, the author of this is clearly engaging in some propaganda. They've redefined the term. Well, first of all, even if the root word did mean that, which it doesn't. Well, I think we'll get into that here in a second. But even if it did, that doesn't mean that's what the term means now. This is a fallacy. And then he's just lumps everything together. Like I'm against everything. I'm against Jewish people and Christian people and Islamic people and the government and the monetary system and science and even New Age religion. So, he's going on a bit of a uncontrolled rant here. But I guess when you don't have any basis, there's nothing to control, nothing to check your thought. You can just blame everything for all your problems.
Yeah, we're going to have to look into all of these claims. We'll just see how many people have we got watching. Well, nice. Okay, let's continue. So now this is the 100 Worst Atrocities in History, the great big book of horrible things, the definitive chronicle of history's 100 worst atrocities by Matthew White. Let's have a look. Now, the clown of reason, Sam Harris. I meant to put a clown picture there. I don't know why I did that. I should have done that. So the clown of reason, Sam Harris, is a well-known critic of the historic impact of religion on ancient and modern societies. Also known for his love of totalitarianism and censorship. Remember, he did this fantastic interview most recently, where he stated that he didn't care if Hunter Biden had a cellar full of babies. That wouldn't matter to him, as long as blah, blah, blah. And also he described his love of censorship and totalitarianism. He was all for that because it's scientific censorship and scientific totalitarianism, so I guess it's okay. And in his book, The End of Faith, Religion, Terror, and the Future of Reason, Harris referred to religious faith as the most prolific source of violence in our history. Now, we've just seen from the Encyclopedia of Wars that this is absolutely positively not the case. Let's have a look here now. The study of the 100 worst atrocities in history counters such claims by Harris and others. Of the 100 events in his detailed study, only 11% are in the category of religious conflict. Right? So 2 fall under the category of human sacrifice. Now, yeah, okay, fine, let's be generous, give them another 2. And that's 13 atrocities, which are 13% of the total. So let's have a look. Oh, look, here comes the far right. This is those Incas and their human sacrifice, because I believe that we're supposed to revere the whole Southern American tribes these days. One problem I do have is the Pope is starting to get a little pagan. That's a bit of a strange concern there, man. Like, what the... So here comes the far right. The far right, oh my, they're so bad. The far right stopped these human sacrifices. These guys sacrificed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. God alone knows how many people they murdered by tearing their hearts out on altars. But those good pagans and these guys, these nasty people, stopped it. Okay, then of course... the Spanish are coming and they bring a new religion, and the leader asks, how bad is that religion? Well, it forbids sacrificing children and eating human flesh. Yeah. Yeah, so this is, apparently this is better than Christianity. And of course, this is the fault of Christianity too. So, now, these are the religious conflicts that he mentions. The Taiping Rebellion, apparently 20 million deaths. We've got to figure out how many years. I have not looked into these numbers. The 30 Years' War, man, I would look twice at this because I've seen numbers that are much less than this, that are half of this.